He told me that he felt sick the moment he entered that room.
Uh-oh. Was this some sort of, like, torture room or something like that? Oh, no. All these horror shows that go over, like, gradual hauntings. When a family moves into a house and things just start happening in these little stages. First, they go from noises or things that they might hear or feel, all in a sudden to things possibly moving and people waking up with scratches, and then all hell breaks loose, right? There's people that are running away from full-body demons and apparitions, and the walls are bleeding and all of this type of stuff. I'm kind of mentioning shows like The Amityville, but there's movies that follow the same path, the same general guidelines, I suppose. And it's always really, really good build up to those points, because you really start the movies with not really knowing what's happening. And when you think about that from the people that live there perspective, it's kind of the same thing, right? If I would just hear a noise in my house right now, there would be no reason for me to suspect it was paranormal. I would figure it might be a creak or an animal outside, or, you know, the wind or something like that. It's the gradual buildup of things that really don't add up and don't make sense that make these horror movies so good. We're going to react to a story today about something like that that happens to a couple that moves into a house by Wansee Entertainment. Make sure to head on over to his channel and subscribe to him. Hit the notification bell, and if you like reaction videos like this, make sure to subscribe to this channel as well. Let's get into the animation. Something was happening in my house.
This happened over 25 years ago, but the memories are still fresh on my mind.
Man, she was scarred, huh?
I moved in with my boyfriend, who was a musician, and I wasn't working at the time.
Right on.
Our budget was small, so when we were offered super cheap rent for our house, we jumped at the opportunity.
Haunted?
It should have been a red flag at the time, but we were in no position to refuse.
Too cheap
It
is
was far
hard to
from the
pass
city
up.
center. We had almost no furniture and lived quite the frugal life.
Right.
But we were happy to have our own space.
Yeah.
The house was simple but cozy and nice. And there was another room in the backyard with no windows.
Uh-oh.
But only a chair
Music.
right in the middle of it. Needless to say, it was super creepy, so I avoided that part of the house.
I mean, it's like a
While
storage
my
shed,
boyfriend
right?
was working all day in a music school, I took care of the house.
There you go.
In the beginning, everything was fine. I felt happy there.
That's how it always starts.
After a few weeks, weird things started happening.
Now here we go. Here's the little build-up where weird things start happening and you start to notice things. And naturally, if there is spirits at work here, most of the time, vulnerable people are first singled out and kind of haunted, especially in cases of like poltergeist, is from what I understand.
One day, I put some of the cans and ingredients on the kitchen table while I was cooking. However, when I turned around to grab them, they weren't there. At first, I just thought that I had forgotten to pick them up from the shelves. But when cans and knives started showing up in random places in the house, like the bedroom, I started paying more attention.
Objects moving.
My boyfriend also experienced the same things. And whenever he found the missing items, he just laughed about it. However, things started to change and took a turn for the worse when we decided to clean the backyard.
Uh-oh.
We cut the grass, threw away the trash, and decided to move the chair in the middle of the room. So my boyfriend picked it up and left it in front of the house to be collected.
Okay.
He told me that he felt sick the moment he entered that room.
Uh-oh. Was this some sort of, like, torture room or something like that? Oh, no.
I thought he was overreacting, but when I entered it, I immediately felt a heavy weight on my chest and a piercing headache.
Oof.
However, everything would be fine again once we left that area.
Maybe a bad
It was scary,
spirit in there.
So we went to a local church, got some holy water and salt from the priest, and cleaned the room. We thought that everything would be okay now. My boyfriend had to leave for work, and I continued cleaning inside the house.
Maybe, you know, there's spirits and forces that are much more powerful than others. And while some, you know, from all of the videos and movies and stuff that I've seen, while some things can ward off negative spirits, if you're messing with something real, a little bit of table salt ain't gonna cut it. That's from what I've seen. You know what I mean? It's like these vampire movies when, you know, a little bit of garlic might ward off the little young vampires that just got bitten last week. But the head honcho that's been alive for like 900 years and stuff, yeah, a little garlic ain't gonna mess with him. You gonna need a stake through his heart to do something, you know?
But I didn't feel calm and perky as I usually did, because I constantly had the feeling that someone was watching me.
Things are progressively getting worse.
I even checked the doors and windows to see if there was anyone around, but no one was there. And I still felt uncomfortable and was paranoid all day.
Noises?
When my boyfriend returned home in the evening, we started hearing noises coming from outside.
At least you were with him. Like, when things happen by yourself, it's always, you know, not only do you get scared, but, you know, couples that live together, when my wife gets off of work, we talk about the date. You know, we say what happened. Hers is always much more interesting than mine because I sit at home and play video games and do reaction videos, you know. So it's always a little bit more complicated on her side. But, you know, when you come home and you tell the other person, if you feeling strongly about something like crazy things happening in their house, you sound like a dang lunatic. Like, there was a noise in the attic and I went to see what it was, but there was nothing there. And then I heard something in the kitchen and the flower pot had moved. And it's like, honey, relax, relax, baby. Have you been watching Netflix too much? Have you been getting good sleep? You know.
This area was kind of dangerous, especially at night. So my boyfriend was super careful when going outside.
Oh.
He thought that it could be a robbery.
Right.
Everything was all right, except for the fact that the chair was back inside the room.
Weirdo.
It was in the same place as before. So he got really mad when he saw it, thinking that some punk was playing a trick on us. He went outside and decided to grab the chair, break it, and throw it away. But I could see the panic on his face when he couldn't move the chair. For whatever reason, it was completely fixed to the ground. Not like it was glued to the floor, but more like it weighed 10 tons.
What?
No matter how hard he tried, it wouldn't move.
Why don't you just take the bat to it, cuz? Just break it to pieces. Burn it. Burn the dang shit. Controlled burn in the backyard.
Because he had to come up with another plan, he ran inside, grabbed holy water and salt, made a circle around the chair, and started praying.
Okay.
Suddenly, we heard a loud bang. Thousands, maybe millions of cockroaches started coming out of every sewer hole outside of the house.
What?
I am terribly terrified of cockroaches.
Me too.
So I guess this was my worst nightmare. He left the chair and we rushed inside the house.
What?
And after we checked everywhere in the house, we locked all the doors and windows.
But that's not gonna stop cockroaches.
To my mom's house.
There you go.
As the incident happened on a Friday evening, we decided to stay at her house until Sunday to calm down.
Dude.
On Sunday afternoon, we returned home and everything felt normal. There were no traces of insects around, and the chair was still in its place, but the house seemed quiet.
Huh.
We started relaxing a bit, and as I had just refilled the fridge on Friday with groceries, I decided to start cooking something nice for dinner. However, when I opened the fridge, I saw an image I will never forget. All the food was full of maggots, and it was almost completely decomposed.
Oh my God.
The smell was horrible inside. I have never seen anything like it before. I mean, the fridge was still on and seemed to be working, but the food was not frozen.
Dude.
And this level of decomposition could not be reached in less than 48 hours.
I got the chills so bad.
It was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. I screamed and showed it to my boyfriend, who also couldn't understand what happened.
it's like there's something that's just that maybe it's getting corrupted because of the evil. This is some powerful stuff. Whatever they messing with right here, this ain't no baby bad spirit. This is a mean one.
There was nothing we could do with the food or the fridge. Later, we finally decided to give the house back, and we moved out to another city. And fortunately, I've never experienced anything like that again.
How could you just give the house back?
Still gives me the chills.
God dang. How could you just give a house back though? That's usually, that'll give you a bad mark on your credit. Don't think you could just give stuff back. Man, but I gotta say, in that instance, I don't think I could stay there either. You know, you could possibly take measures to get rid of the building or whatever. Maybe call some ghost hunters, try to figure out what's going on. Maybe even get the house blessed instead of just throwing salt around. Actually get some people, you know, from the church to come and possibly give an exorcism. I don't know how a bunch of that stuff works, but I would think that if I would be in a situation that had some sort of financial limitations on the place that I lived, like a young struggling couple, that I wouldn't be able to pass this opportunity up to keep my house, especially if you like it. Now, they did say they were in a bad neighborhood, so maybe they just made the decision, you know, it's probably best that we just get out of here. I don't know, man, but I'm really, really glad I've never seen anything like that or experienced anything like that. Have you ever experienced like some bad mamma jammas where you live or at a house that you stayed at? I'd love to hear it in the comments, guys. Make sure to go over to Wansee's channel. His channel, his link is right here, as well as a couple other reaction videos I did from Wansee there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. As always, this is Zueljin signing off, and we'll see you next time. Break it down.